through projects. In this video, we are going to explain about the project entitled as Heart Rate and Body Temperature Relationship in Children Admitted to PICU, a machine learning approach. So before getting into the video, let me give you the brief explanation about the project. The title describes a study that explores how heart rate and body temperature are related in critical ill children admitted in pediatric intensive care unit. It uses machine learning techniques to analyze large amount of clinical data and identify patterns that may not be obvious with traditional methods. The goal is to improve understanding of physiological responses in children and support early detection of clinical deterioration. Coming to the abstract, this abstract explains the importance of closely monitoring heart rate and body temperature in critical ill children, as changes in these vital signs can signal serious conditions such as infection or psychological stress. It highlights how the study uses machine learning techniques to analyze routinely collected PICU data to better understand the relationship between these two parameters. By identifying patterns and predicting abnormal trends, the approach aims to support earlier clinical interventions, improve real-time monitoring, reduce the burden of healthcare staff, and ultimately enhance patient outcomes in predictive intensive care. Coming to the existing system in the PICU monitor heart rate and body temperature continuously, but their relationship is mainly interpreted using fixed threshold values, basic statistical methods, and clinical judgments. While this approach helps identify obvious abnormalities, it does not account for complex or non-linear interactions between vital signs or differences among individual patients. As a result, subtle psychological changes may go unnoticed, leading to delayed detection of patients, deterioration, and potentially increasing the risk of adverse outcomes in critical ill children. Coming to the proposed system or base paper work, the proposed system uses machine learning techniques to study and predict the relationship between heart rate and body temperature in children admitted to the PICU. By analyzing both historical and real-time vital sign data, the system can detect hidden patterns and anticipate abnormal psychological changes that may not be obvious through traditional monitoring. It adapts to individual patient characteristics, allowing personalized monitoring and early warning alerts for clinicians. This approach helps improve prediction accuracy, supports timely clinical decision, and enhance the overall quality of care in predictive intensive care units. Coming to the data set, the heart rate data set contains psychological time series data that focuses on recording heart rate measurements from individuals over a period of time. The primary attributes in the data set is heart rate measured in beats per minute, which reflects the cardiovascular condition of a person at different moments. Each heart rate reading is associated with a time or sequence value, allowing the data to analyze chronologically and make it suitable for time series analysis. The dataset may also include identifiers to differentiate between individuals or recording sessions, ensuring that heart rate patterns can be studied at both individual and population levels. In some cases, additional contextual or single related features are proved to support more advanced analysis. Overall, this dataset is designed for machine learning applications such as regression, trends prediction, and health monitoring. And it is especially useful for studying heart rate behavior and its relationship with other psychological or temporal factors in real world scenarios. Coming to the novelty or extension or enhancement or improvement. An XGBoost based model was added as an extension to the system, which significantly improved prediction performance by reducing the quantitative loss to 5.8%, leading to more accurate and reliable predictions for clinical decision making in the PICU. Explainable AI techniques such as LINE and SHAP were incorporated to interpret the model's prediction, helping clinicians understand the importance and impact of different features on the outcomes. Along with this, a Flask-based user interface was developed to allow users to input patients' data and obtain real-time predictions using the trained machine learning models, making the system more interactive and user-friendly. Coming to the flow of the work, first, we need to import the packages. All the necessary Python libraries required for data analysis, pre-processing, visualization, machine learning, deep learning, and explainable AI. These packages provide the tool needed to efficiently handle large data set, build predictive models, evaluate their performance, and interpret results. Next, exploring the dataset. The heart rate dataset is explored to understand its structure, feature type, data distribution, and the presence of missing or inconsistent values. This step helps in gaining initial insights into the data and guides the pre-processing and modeling strategies. Next, data pre-processing. Data pre-processing ensures high quality and reliable input for model training. It involves excluding data from patients who have moved or are undergoing specific medication treatments, normalizing body temperature values, and calculating the median heart rate to reduce the effect of outer lines. Heart rate and body temperature readings are aligned with a 10 minutes window. Extreme values are removed. And data is grouped into 1 degree Celsius temperature ranges. To avoid bias, only one observation per patient per temperature range is retrained. Next, data visualization. Visual analysis is performed to better understand trends and relationship within the data. Body temperature range distributions help identify data balance. Heart rate versus body temperature plots reveal psychological patterns, and correlation metrics shows dependency among the variables. Next, build the regression models. A wide range of statistical, machine learning, and deep learning models are developed to capture both simple and complex relationship between heart rate and body temperature. This includes linear and polynomial regressions, SVM, OLS, gradient boost, random forest, RNN, LSTM, MLP, and the extended XGBoost model. Next, training the model. Each model is trained using the pre-processed dataset so that it can learn underlying patterns and relationship between input features and the targeted variables. Proper training ensures that the model generalizes well to unseen data. Next, model evaluation and comparison. The trained models are evaluated using the metrics such as mean squared error, root mean squared error, R-squared score, quantiline loss. This metrics helps compare model accuracy, error rates, and overall predictive performance. Next, performance comparison graphs. Graphs are generated to visualize, compare the performance of all models across different evaluation metrics. The visual comparison makes it easier to identify the most effective model. Next, save the best trained model. The model that demonstrates the best overall performance is selected and saved for deployment. Saving the trained model allows it to be reused for future predictions without retraining. Next, explainable AI visualizations. Explainable AI techniques such as line and shape are applied to interpret the model's prediction. This visualization highlights the contribution of each feature, increasing transparency and trust in the model decision. Coming to the front end, the Flask-based front end is developed with secure registration and logging functionality using the SQLite database. Users can input feature values to the interface, which are then pre-processed to match the training pipeline. The saved model generates prediction based on the input, and the final results are displayed clearly to support clinical interpretation and decision making. The algorithms used in the project are linear regression, multiple linear regression, polynomial regressor, SVM, statistical modeling, ordinary least squares, gradient boost, random forest, RNN, LSTM, and MLP. As an extension, we have used XGBoost. Coming to the requirements, we have both hardware requirements and software requirements. Hardware requirements consist of operating systems Windows only, processor i5 and above, RAM 8 GB and above, hard disk 25 GB and above. Software requirements consist of application framework Anaconda, primary language is Python, front-end framework is Flask, backend is Jupyter Notebook, database is SQLite 3, technologies which we use to build the front-end are HTML, CSS, JavaScript and Bootstrap 4. To execute this project, first we need to open the code folder which contains the project source code files. This folder is a complete package of your project's code base containing everything needed to develop, test and deploy your application or model. Static folder. This folder consists of files related to CSS, JavaScript and Bootstrap. Templates folder. This folder contains all the HTML pages used in the project. It typically includes files like index.html, about.html, etc., which represents different pages of the website. App.py file. This .py file contains the information related to front-end logic. It could include code written in Python that handles server-side operations such as processing user requests, interacting with the database, and generating dynamic content to be rendered in the HTML templates. And these are the model files which contain the algorithm information which will be loaded into the project code during the runtime. Notebook.ipynb file. This is a Jupyter Notebook file which contains a combination of code, graphs, and outputs all in one place. It allows users to write and execute the code in individual cells, making it a popular choice for data science. Signup.db file. This file is a database file used to store the user information. Now, coming to the execution of the project, first, you need to copy the path of the code folder from the address bar. Then, open Anaconda prompt. Use the command cd followed by a space and then paste the copied path. This command is used to change the current directory to the code folder's path. Now, compile the app.py file using the command python space app.py in the Anaconda prompt. This command will execute the Python script and perform a runtime check for any syntax errors or logical issues. After running the app.py file, the Flask framework will host the application locally at the default address with the port number of 5000. Copy the local link provided by the framework and paste it into any web browser. I prefer Chrome. So this is the home page of the project should now be displayed in the browser. This is a front end built using Flask framework. In this page, we have home button and sign up button. Now click on sign up button so that the logon HTML will be opened. Here, we need to give the details and create an account for user authentication like username, full name, mail ID, mobile number, and a strong password. Next, we need to confirm the password once again. Then click on create an account so that all the given details are stored in signup.db and the login.html will be opened, where we need to access the application by username and password. Then click on sign in so that the prediction page has been displayed. In this page, we have prediction button, data analysis button, notebook button, and sign out button. Firstly, click on prediction button so that the form will be opened, where you need to enter the patient's data to analyze the relationship between heart rate and body temperature in children admitted to PICU using machine learning. So, let us check one by one. Age in months, 95.83902. Age group is child. Body temperature is 37.528. Body temperature is 37.28. Temperature site is rectal and the measurement size is continuous. Now click on predict so that the input values are pre-processed and the output is displayed as 96.9 BPM. It is based on the body temperature and patient characteristics. The machine learning model predicts the heart rate value, demonstrating the relationship between vital signs in PICU children. it is displayed as normal range. We also have the input summary, relationship analysis, clinical significance, interpretation guide, reference information, key insights. And when you click on new prediction, the page will again be opened. Now, let us check for another one. The age in months is 6.772321. Age group will be infant. Body temperature is 37.89. Temperature insight is rectal. Measurement type is continuous. Now click on predict. The input values are pre-processed and the output is displayed as 152.2 BPM. And we also have the input summary, relationship, clinical significance, interpretation guide, reference information, key insights. And next, click on new prediction. Age in months be like 0.495177. Age group is newborn. Body temperature is 37.25. Temperature insights is rectal. Measurement type is manual. Click on predict. The input is pre-processed and the output displayed as 143.5 BPM. It is high. And we also have the same input summary, relationship analysis, clinical significance, interpretation guide, reference information, key insights. And let us check for other prediction. Age group will be 202.2046. Age group is teenager. Body temperature is 33.47. Temperature insights, esophageal. Measurement type is continuous. Click on prediction so that the input value is pre-processed and the output is displayed as 62.0%. It is a normal range. We also have the input summary, relationship analysis, clinical significance, interpretation guide, reference information, key insights, and again click on new prediction so that the page is opened. Again, let us enter the age 21.42211. Age group is toddler. Body temperature is 36.12. Temperature insights is rectal. Measurement type is continuous. Now click on predict so that the input value is predicted and the output is displayed as 111.8 BPM. It is evaluated. We also have the input summary, relationship analysis, clinical significance, interpretation guide, reference information, and key insights. Now click on data analysis so that the graphical representation of the project will be opened. So let us check one by one. First, we have body temperature range distribution graph. The graph illustrates the distribution of body temperature ranges among the recorded observations. Most measurements fall within the normal to midly evaluated temperature ranges, particularly between 37.0 to 37.9 degrees Celsius and 38.0 to 38.9 degrees Celsius, indicating that a large proportion of patients experienced normal to low-grade fever. Fewer observations are seen at very low and very high temperature ranges, showing that extreme hypothermia or hyperthermia cases were less common in the data set. Next, we have heart rate versus body temperature graph. This scatter plot shows the relationship between body temperature and heart rate across different pediatric age groups, including newborn, infants, toddlers, children, and teenagers. Overall, the graph indicates a positive trend where heart rate increases a body temperature rise, reflecting a typical psychological response to fever or stress. Younger age groups such as newborns and infants generally exhibit higher heart rates compared to older children and teenagers at similar temperatures. The spread of data points also highlights variability within each age group. Emphasize the importance of age significance monitoring in pediatric intensive care settings. Next, we have correlation matrix graph. This correlation matrix illustrates the relationship between key variables such as age group, body temperature, temperature measurement sites, and measurement type. Most correlation values are very close to zero, indicating weak or no linear relationship among these features. A slight negative correlation is observed between body temperature and temperature sites, suggesting minimal influence of measurement location on temperature values. Overall, the graph shows that the variables are largely independent, supporting the need of advanced machine learning models to capture complex, non-linear interactions rather than relying solely on simpler correlationships. Next, we have MSE graph. This bar chart compares the mean squared error values of different machine learning and deep learning models used for prediction. Lower MSE value indicates better predictive performance. The polynomial regressor and gradient boosting models shows comparatively low MSE, suggesting more accurate predictions, while deep learning models such as RNN and LSTM exhibits higher error values in this comparison. The graph highlights how model performance varies significantly and emphasizes the importance of selecting an appropriate algorithm based on error metrics rather than model complexity alone. Next, we have RMSE graph. This graph presents the root mean squared error values for various machine learning and deep learning models. RMSE represents the average magnitude of prediction error, with lower values indicating better model accuracy. The polynomial regressor and ordinary least squares models show relatively low RMSE values, suggesting more precise predictions, while models such as XGBoost, RNN, and LSTM exhibits higher RMSE, indicating larger prediction errors. Overall, the graph helps identifying models that provide a better balance between accuracy and reliability for predicting psychological data. Next, we have R-squared score graph. This bar chart compares the R-squared scores of different machine learning and deep learning models, showing how well each model explains the variance in the target variable. Higher R-square value indicates better model performance. Polynomial regression and ordinary least squares achieve the highest R-square score, suggesting they capture the relationship between features effectively. In contrast, XGBoost shows a lower R-square score in this comparison, while models like MLP and random forest demonstrate moderate performance. This graph highlights the importance of evaluating godness of fit when selecting the most suitable prediction model. Next, we have quantiline loss graph. This graph compares the quantiline loss values of different machine learning and deep learning models, where lower value indicates better performance in predicting the conditional distribution of the targeted variables. The XGBoost model achieves the lowest quantiline loss, demonstrating superior accuracy and robustness in capturing prediction uncertainty. Polynomial regression and gradient boost also shows relatively lower loss values, while deep learning models such as RNN and LSTM exhibits higher quantitative loss. Overall, the graph highlights the effectiveness of XGBoost for precise and reliable predictions in this application. Next, we have explainable AI SHAP graph. This SHAP summary plot explains how different features influence the model prediction. The x-axis represents SHAP values, showing whether a feature increases or decreases the predicted outcome, while the color indicates the feature values from lower to higher. Body temperature and age in months have the strongest impact on the model, with higher body temperature generally pushing predictions upward. Other features such as temperature site, age group, and measurement type have comparatively small effects, highlighting that heart rate predictions are primarily driven by temperature and patient's age. Then click on Sign Out. So finally, this study highlights the effectiveness of machine learning in analyzing the relationship between heart rate and body temperature in children admitted to the PICU. Advanced models successfully capture complex and age-specific psychological patterns that traditional methods may miss. The approach supports early detection of clinical deterioration and enhances real-time decision-making. Overall, it contributes to improved monitoring and better patient outcomes in pediatric critical care. So this is all about your project. Thank you.
Thank you for watching video. For more projects, please visit our website www.trueprojects.in. For updates on latest project videos, Please visit True Projects YouTube channel and subscribe.